Okay, so we are going to look at simplifying what we call complex fractions. And those are essentially just where you have fractions within other fractions. So you can see we have this numerator over this denominator, but within each numerator and denominator, you have more fractions. So to simplify a complex fraction, the first thing that you want to do is simplify that numerator. And if it's a situation where you have multiple fractions within the numerator, you want to get it down to a single fraction. Now, this overall numerator right here, it is just a single fraction, so we don't really have to do anything there. Secondly, we want to do the same with the denominator. And we can see that in this particular example, we have two fractions. So we want to go ahead and subtract those. So I'm just going to label my work just to kind of keep myself organized. But we're going to do 5 over x plus 1 minus x minus 4 over, and I'm going to go ahead and just factor the denominator right now. And it factors to x minus 4, x plus 1. So in this situation, we have to figure out what is the LCD in order to do that subtraction. So the LCD is the x plus 1 quantity that shows up here and here, but at most it shows up one time in either situation, and then the x minus 4. So this fraction already has the LCD, but this one I'm missing. I have the x plus 1 factor, but I'm missing the x minus 4 factor. So I'm going to multiply by x minus 4 on top and on bottom. So that means over my common denominator of x minus 4 times x plus 1, we have 5 times the quantity x minus 4, so that's going to be 5x minus 20, and then minus, and when we're subtracting, remember we have to subtract the entire numerator. So the quantity, x minus 4, we're going to subtract that. So 5x minus x is 4x, and negative 20 minus negative 4 is the same thing as negative 20 plus 4, or negative 16. So that means I could factor a 4 out here, right? And I would have x minus 4. So you have an x minus 4 in the denominator and in the numerator, so that's going to simplify to 1. So that means your numerator, all you have left is a 4, and your denominator, an x plus 1. So essentially what just happened is this entire denominator here just became 4 over x plus 1. And this numerator, really the only thing that's possible to do here is we could factor this. I'll do that in the next step. But now at least we have a fraction over another fraction. And remember, this means division, that fraction bar. So our final step is to go ahead and divide the simplified numerator by the simplified denominator. So remember, this is like saying 1 over 3x squared minus 3 divided by, you could write it like this, 4 over x plus 1. Well, dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So 1 over, I'm going to go ahead and factor out the 3. So this is x squared minus 1. Well, I'm going to actually, before I even write the rest of the problem, I'm going to go ahead and factor that even further. This becomes 1 over 3 times, since that's dots, x plus 1 times x minus 1. And then to divide by 4 over x plus 1, that's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So we can multiply by 4 is going to jump to the denominator, and x plus 1 will be in the numerator. So to simplify this, I see I have an x plus 1 factor in the denominator and in the numerator. So those will simplify to 1. So that means for my final answer, the numerator is 1 over 3 times the quantity x minus 1 times 4. So I'll go ahead and do 3 times 4 to get 12, and then we have the quantity x minus 1. And this would be our final simplified answer.